Willkommen allesammen. Well, I did it. You guys have been trying to convince me for 2 years now, quite a few of you, and I said I would never do it, but I ended up doing it, damn it. So no, I didn't make an Onlyfans, something even worse. I finally made a Patreon. The truth is, it was not. You guys all helped. You definitely helped, and there was a few of you really close friends now who have convinced me to do it, but it was not a human entity that convinced me to make that final step, we could say. It was something that happened to me on the Disablut, which some of you watched that video a couple months back that I didn't want to share about, but it was kind of the experience that night kind of led me to be convinced that this was the only option. And today is the Segelblut. I actually just finished filming this video here, the Blut welcoming the summer and the Blut for victory. It took me 2 months to actually set this up because I wanted to set up the best Patreon, the most valuable Patreon on the whole internet, and that took some time. I still hate Patreon, and it shames me to make one. I really did not want to, but like I said, there was something convinced me that there was no other option and it had to be done. And also, it took me 2 months to set it up because I wanted to give people the most valuable thing. If they're going to spend their hard-earned money to support, I wanted to give them the most valuable, of equal value or even greater back. So that's what I spent these last 2 months working on, and today is the Segelblut when I'm officially launching it. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm offering all of you to make it the best Patreon on the internet in just a minute, but first, why am I starting it? Well, we're in big trouble, guys. We are in deep, deep shit. The way the world is going, you all know. Human beings are in a lot of trouble in the coming generations, and we especially, all of you who follow this channel, have a good admiration for the past and don't like the way the world is going, just abandoning human nature and tradition and way of life and all of that. The way the world is going right now, it's going to be even worse for those of us who believe in the old ways. I've spoke about this before. The only solution is to become sustainable, to build not just a homestead, but a village, not be completely sustainable, grow our own food, live the old way of life. We can't expect the overlords to look out for us and set those things up for us. We have to take it into our own hands. A homestead is great, but ideally it needs to be a village. Humans need to live in communities, so tribes of 50 to 100 people. This is the only solution to the problems that we're going to be facing in the next few years. So that's why I've started the Patreon. Is the Patreon to pay for the village? No, absolutely not. A little bit of support from a few people every month is not going to afford the millions that it's going to cost to set up this village. No, I'm setting up the village myself, and that's going to be a gift back to my people. I'm doing that all myself. The Patreon is not going to pay for even a fraction of a percent of that. The Patreon, all it's going to do is enable me to quit my job and pursue the other ways of making money full-time and do what I do best, and that is fighting. The MMA. Now, I know it's not just MMA that's going to make this money. The truth is MMA is not going to make that much money at all, but it's going to open up and expand all the other things I have going on. All the investments, all the business endeavors, all these kinds of things, ways to make money, to gain the millions that it's going to need to have the village, and also the sustainable income that it's going to take to keep it running. And that's part actually of what I'm going to be offering in the Patreon. I'm going to be sharing every step that I take, sharing with you guys all my finances, everything that I'm doing, so that you know that any support is going to the right place, and also so you guys can duplicate it if you like. I'm not making that much money, but by putting it in the right places, doing smart things with it, I can grow that into what is needed to build the homestead and the village, and I hope that all of you can do the same. And that's part of what I'm going to give in the Patreon as well. So now on to the big question: what am I offering all on the Patreon that you see here? What is all this crap? Well, first, let me get a list real quick. So first is going to be the private videos. Now these, I will never make the educational stuff I do private. All the stuff, I'm not a fan of those Patreon people. Oh, you get exclusive content, you get your name in the credits. No, I will never hide any valuable information. I will never hide any sources behind a Patreon wall. I'll make all my videos for free, always. The videos that I'm going to be releasing on Patreon are the more spiritual ones. They're things that have to do with spirituality or magic that I just don't want to be out there in public, and maybe I'm not allowed to speak about in public too. So that's the first of the private videos. The second part of the private videos is going to be the financial education. Believe it or not, I'm not a huge dumbass, I'm only a little bit of a dumbass. I have a master's in international business. That's actually what my education is in, international business and economics. So this is really what I'm most proud of to be able to offer people. It's not going to be like me, some millionaire guru. Hey, let's be honest, all those millionaire, influencers and gurus that are telling you how to make money, just pay them a few $1,000s that you see all over YouTube. The truth is, they just got lucky. Even if they are rich and they are legit, 99% of the time they just got lucky. They didn't work hard or work smart. What I'm going to be doing is building the wealth from the ground up. I'm no better than you guys. I don't have millions in the bank already. We're going to be building up ourselves. I may be a little bit ahead of some of you as far as finances go and a little bit behind some of you, but the point is we're all going to be building up these things together and building the sustainable income and everything that is needed to start the villages. So this is really what I'm most proud of, and again, I'm going to be sharing all of my finances with you, showing you where every dollar is going, where I'm investing it, what I'm doing with it, so that you guys ideally can duplicate it and build your own village. I'll have room for some people in my village, 10, 20, 30 families, but I would love to see a whole nation of people, honestly, and it takes a whole nation of people being good with money to do that. So that's the first thing. Second thing I'm offering, and this is all on the tier 1 Patreon, by the way. Second thing I'm offering is runes or symbol or tattoo help. A lot of you guys ask me about this. You want to get the right symbol or the right runes or things like that. Just message me and I'll look in my books and look in my studies of things that might be applicable for you and send you back some suggestions. Number 3, 25% off everything in my online shop for always. That's pretty easy. Number 4, music. You will get all my music sent to you for free in MP3 file. Oh, for fuck's sake. This guy makes music too. He needs to get his shit together and focus on one thing. Yeah, I know. I have way too many things going on. But like I said, if I'm able to quit my job and do these things full time, it's no problem to make a lot more music than I'm doing now, and hopefully that and the live shows and the music, that will be the biggest money maker that I have anyways. As these DJs who are getting 100, 200, 300,000 to play one single night. So that's the reason why I'm doing the music. Number 5, you will get to chat to me anytime you want. I know it's so difficult and I'm so busy with all these things. You guys are messaging me on Facebook and Instagram and I barely am able to reply once every couple days, but the Patreon, I will always prioritize those people if they have questions or things like that. I'm happy to reply a lot more often than I'm doing now. And you guys will also get a chat community with each other to meet each other, like-minded people. Like we're doing on the Facebook group, except this one is going to be a lot more tight-knit and forming a real close tribe. We can start whatever you want, whether it be a Discord or a Parlor or a whatever social media. You guys can vote on it and I'll start that up for you guys all too. Finally, in Tier 1 Patreon, you will get tickets to BJJ and you know, like the smaller events. If I'm DJing any clubs or things like that, or have any tournaments, you guys will all get sent free tickets if you want to join those. So that's the first tier. Second tier, you are going to get everything that I just mentioned in the first tier, in addition to a couple other things. First, you are going to get physical products sent to you every 3 months. Anything on my online shop that I come out with that's new, $30 and under, you will get sent to you in the mail. As soon as you sign up for the Patreon, it's going to ask you for your address, and I'll also ask you for your size, just in case I'm sending clothes, and that will send you every 3 months pretty much, so 4 times a year that will be. You will also get tickets to my MMA fights, boxing fights, any kind of like the higher end live events that I have like that. Most of these are going to be on the West Coast for now of the US, but it doesn't matter. That my Patreon, I'm not going to have it probably for more than 2 years, I think, but it doesn't matter anywhere. If it's, you know, and it might be the earliest one might be in June, just in a couple months, but it doesn't matter if it's in 2 years or 5 years, you will have my everlasting gratitude. It doesn't, even if I'm competing in the UFC, I'll do everything I can to get you ringside tickets. If not, then I will at least get you the nosebleeds. And finally, on that second tier, you will get a chat. I know a lot of people want to speak on the phone, and I just don't have the time for it, but like I said, if I'm able to quit my job and do these things full time, I'm very happy to get on a phone call with you guys or a Zoom call if you have any questions, or if you want to talk about any things spiritually, magic, finance, or just whatever. If you want to talk if you want to talk shit to me for 30 minutes, then I will allow that. Then there's tier 3 of the Patreon. That again is going to include everything else that I spoke about in the lower tiers of the Patreon 1 and 2, except in tier 3 you are also going to get the products that are $30 and up. I can't send you the jewelry or like the really expensive things like the animal skins, but anything from $30 to $60 that you see on my online shop, I will mail that to you worldwide, not just the US, and that will be coming also 3-4 times a year. Also on that third tier of Patreon, I will offer a phone call if you want a 30-minute or an hour phone call every month. Like if you want to make it a monthly thing and you have things to talk about every month, I'm very happy to do that. Like I said, you guys are enabling me to do this full time, and for your support, I'm more than happy to have a phone call every month if you want to. So that's it. Again, you know, this is something that I was really not wanting to do, but in the end I realized that it was something that was no choice and something that had to be done. Like I said, something that happened at the Disablut, which I am going to be sharing, by the way. I'll be speaking of that, will be my first video on the Patreon, telling you what happened on the Disablut and why I decided to do this, among many other things. And that's just some things that I don't want to be sharing out in public. So that's all I see for today. You guys can check it out if you like. If not, we all still love you. But that's all we have to say for today. Vi ses nästa gång.